So how long have you been with the BPO, and how did you come to join the orchestra?
Well, it started in high school. I went to play with Ben, I think my junior year in high school, and so that was for a few years there, and then I went to New England Conservatory, and at the end of my time as an undergraduate, I played with Ben, I think my senior year when it was the Civic Orchestra, and Ben and I have always had a very close relationship. After that, I went off to be a professional timpanist for 4 years or so, and when I came back, I was really kind of in between jobs, and I got a sales job because I didn't really want to freelance, and I contacted Ben, and he fortunately was in between timpanists, and so that was 1985, a while ago, and I've been, or 86, one of the two, it's been since then.
So you've been with the orchestra for many years. So how do you think the orchestra has changed over those years? How would you say that the orchestra's relationship with Ben has evolved? What have you witnessed that's different now than when you started?
As far as the orchestra has progressively gotten better to the point where I believe, and of course I can't be totally objective, but I would say that not only are we, when we say we're a world-class orchestra, it's the real deal. We're probably better than most orchestras in the country that are fully professional orchestras. Obviously not the top tier and maybe even the second tier, but although we get reviews on our recordings that are up there with the absolute very best. So from the orchestra point of view, it's gotten better, more solid in every section. As far as Ben has been always incredible, but he has always been very open to learning. And so he's evolved as a conductor, and I think that along the way, of course, he found the connection between leadership skills and orchestra, and that has really, I think, changed a lot of how he approaches the orchestra and how he empowers the orchestra. So he's become, I think, maybe over the years, maybe less self-focused and more focused on how he can produce the best through this leadership role.
Okay. Okay.
Which I might just add is pretty unusual as for an orchestral conductor. And if you think about most of the professional orchestras, especially the ones that have the really great conductors, what used to be maybe 20, 30, 50 even years ago is that because of travel limitations and so forth, the conductor was much more a focal point in the orchestra. Over time, no matter who you are, it seems, conductors travel a lot. So as a result, their contracts are fewer and fewer actual performances with their bass orchestra and maybe more throughout the world. Whereas, in contrast, our orchestra is only conducted by men. And we have learned how to, over time, to really become Ben's players. And it's maybe a unique skill, and it's a very exciting one, but we do rely on each other a great deal. We know what Ben wants, even when he might not express it, we know what he wants. And so we've become very good at being this cohesive unit, and I think that that's partly why we're so, the product is so good.
What does the BPO offer that other orchestras do not?
Well, the obvious thing is the combination of professionals and very, very high. I mean, in Boston, you know, a professional freelancer, a top professional freelancer could play in any orchestra in the country, really. I mean, they're that good. So we have professionals and a big pool to pick from. We have an incredible student body in New England Conservatory, in Boston University, Boston Conservatory. So we really have the very best in the students, which is a unique aspect to playing together. And then, of course, we have the passionately crazed amateurs who really infuse the orchestra like a blood transfusion with perspective and passion that other orchestras couldn't possibly have.
How would you describe a BPO concert experience to someone who has never heard a BPO concert before?
The BPO concerts, there's a lot of thought that's put into the concert season, and it truly is a journey. And so each experience is at a certain place, kind of, right? The experience feels to me like, as a performer, it feels to me like it's an event, a big event. And I can only believe that it can't be, I mean, comparing this to an orchestra that plays 22 concert series a year plus pops, and, like the guys across the street, I can't imagine that they might have highlights, but they're not events. They're not arrivals at something. And I gotta believe for the listener that it's gotta feel that way too. And in our audience, I believe at least 60% of them come to the pre-concert talks. So they're very, very well educated and prepared as audiences go. And so they're really set to, they're teed up to experience it in a way that most other audiences would be. When I read, the season came out with a lot of fanfare, on the website. So when I read it, I really was